Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In this one we're looking at the top transfers in and transfers out for each position ahead of game week 6. I'll give my opinion on whether I think it's a good idea or a bad idea to transfer these guys in and out, so let's get into it. Okay, starting off with defenders. Now Cucurella is the highest transferred out defender this week, and I kind of get it, to be honest. I think the Chelsea defence isn't like elite or something. This isn't like an Arsenal, a Liverpool, or I guess the Spurs defence at the moment looks pretty good. Chelsea defence isn't up there with these guys, I don't think, personally. And also, he did get benched the other week, which is a bit of an issue. If you're paying 6 million or 6.2 now for a defender, you want them to be absolutely nailed. You want them to be from an elite defence as well, which I don't think Cucurella is. Now, the one thing you do get with Cucurella is massive attacking threat. He finds himself in the box quite a lot. He also randomly pops up in like a number 10 position for some reason. I don't think he's really got the skill set to do that very well. He does get in good attacking positions. I just don't think the Chelsea defence is really good enough to warrant 6 million on a defender. Pedro Porro is one that I don't particularly understand. The Spurs defence has been brilliant so far this season. Admittedly, didn't look great against Brighton defensively. They also didn't look great against Bournemouth, but in all of the other games, they've looked so solid defensively. And Porro, albeit he hasn't really shown the attacking threat that we've seen from him in previous seasons, he is playing for a very good defence. They've got great fixtures. It's Wolves at home, then it's Leeds, then it's Aston Villa, I believe. Those three fixtures are so good. I wouldn't be selling any Spurs defender right now. Wan-Bissaka I completely get. He seems to have just lost his place to Walker-Peters for some reason. Don't particularly get it. I mean, Walker-Peters hasn't been bad, don't get me wrong, but Wan-Bissaka's just better. So I don't really get that. Aina and Ait-Nouri I completely get because they're both injured. Munoz, again, doesn't particularly make too much sense to me. Crystal Palace defence is just really good. They didn't keep a clean sheet this week, but there's nothing wrong with their defence at all. Their defence is just fantastic this season. Then we go to the transfers in for defenders. Senesi is the overwhelming favourite here, for good reason, to be honest. If we pull up his stats, they're just a joke. I mean, he's played 90 minutes in every game. Obviously, we expected that. But it's the defensive contributions on the far right column. He is only one of 2 players that have hit the defensive contribution points in every single game. The other one is Tarkowski. But the difference is Senesi, 1, is cheaper, and 2, plays in a better defence at the moment. The Everton defence hasn't looked like the Everton defence of last season, probably because Branthwaite is out. When Branthwaite comes back, they probably will be a bit better. We saw that happen last season. But until then, Senesi is just the better option. We did kind of think that the Bournemouth defence would struggle a little bit, having lost quite a few of their main pieces. They haven't at all. They've looked really good defensively. As you can see here, they've kept 3 clean sheets, which is pretty impressive, especially against Spurs, because the Spurs attack isn't actually bad by any means. But yeah, defensive contributions are the main reason that we're getting Senesi in here. Then, if we look at these other guys, Mark Guéhi, I still think personally that Chris Richards is a better option here. The one thing that Mark Guéhi does have is, or so far at least, I don't know if this is going to be sustainable, but his attacking threat has been crazy so far this season. He got an assist, obviously, from a corner. But yeah, I just don't know if it's going to be particularly reliable going forward. However, he's obviously still a great option in his own right at that price. Timber, I kind of get it. He's been very good. Him and Calafiori, who's further down the list, they've been very... The way that they've set up means that those two can get forward quite a lot. I am still just not 100% sure that we're going to see these 2 guys play every single game. I think that Miles Lewis-Skelly will get some games, especially around this Champions League congestion, which is pretty much in full flow now. I think that we'll see Miles Lewis-Skelly. I think we'll see Ben White get some games. I'm not sure if he's completely fit yet, but he will be. So I just prefer spending the extra money on Gabriel personally. Then we've got Van der Ven. Maybe people are selling Porro to Van der Ven, which makes a little bit of sense because he's cheaper and at the moment he's getting more points, but I'm not sure it's worth a transfer personally. Van der Ven in his own right is a good option though, for sure. Chalobah, I don't think Chalobah's a particularly good option personally, mainly just due to his price. I think at 5 million or 5.1 million now, I think you can get much better options, if I'm honest. Moving on to the transfers out for the midfielders, and Wirtz is unsurprisingly top. He has been ridiculously disappointing this season. I have no doubt that it will come good because he's looks like an absolutely quality player. I didn't watch much of him in Germany, but from the first few games you can tell he's got absolute quality, but it's just not happening for him right now. So now that those good fixtures are out of the way as well from Burnley and Everton, you just have to sell him now, I think. You can't go on any longer keeping him. Salah, I mean, I think in his own right, Salah's okay, but he's not really performing like a 14.5 million midfielder right now. Presumably a lot of these people don't have Haaland, so you're selling Salah to get the funds to move forward up to Haaland. Completely get that. I would be completely doing that this week. Gakpo, again, I kind of get this more of a minutes thing with him. We've seen that Arne Slot has said that Hugo Ekitike can play on the left. Wirtz obviously played on the left a little bit as well. So when Isak comes in, I just don't think Gakpo's minutes are going to be quite as safe. Palmer went off injured. Didn't look too serious. He didn't go and get like treatment or anything. So we'll have to wait and see if that's fine or not. But I completely get why people are selling him. Johnson, again, he was never a good player to own, in my opinion. I did say that in one of the videos as well. He was just not the player to own. He's more expensive than Kudus, less nailed than Kudus. Just nothing to like about him personally. Rodgers, again, completely get it. The fixtures are pretty good, but there's just no reason to own Aston Villa assets right now. They look really, really bad. And the other guys, I mean, Reinders down there, baffling to me. We'll talk about Reinders in a minute, but that is just baffling because Reinders should be and is in this list. He's second in this list now. People were going mental about Reinders and how he hadn't returned since game week 1. If you'd actually watched any of the games or looked at, even the numbers weren't bad. They're not like unbelievable, but not bad. Reinders was never a sell. That's why people are now buying him. So yes, this is a fantastic buy. Reinders is an unbelievable footballer. He's playing more minutes than we could have hoped for pre-season. So yeah, he's fantastic. Semenyo, I mean, we don't need to say too much about Semenyo because talk about him in almost every single video. He's just a joke. If we bring up some stats here, this is expected goals this season. Haaland is obviously running away with it, of course. Semenyo is in kind of joint second here, given that these numbers are rounded. So Semenyo, 3 goals from roughly 3 XG. He just gets big chances. He takes shots. There's nothing not to like about him. Just buy him now. Buy him. I don't think that last week was a great entry point. I think that now you can go in for him though because the fixtures are just good. Bruno Fernandes also in here. Bruno Fernandes is 8th in this list and 3rd in the expected goals list. A lot of that will be from the penalty. Semenyo obviously had a penalty as well. So penalties do kind of skew these lists a little bit. But Bruno Fernandes is looking great. I mean, he is playing a little bit deeper a lot of the time. But we also saw late in that Chelsea game that he played as kind of a striker at points as well. Not sure we can go off that game too much because it was a bit of an outlier given the red card situations and everything like that. If we look at some other players now, Gravenberch, I'm not sure, is one that we really need to be looking at. Every week we seem to get like a defensive-ish midfielder that scores a goal or 2 goals if you're Zubimendi, and then people bring him in, but long term I'm not sure it's great. He's basically this week's Zubimendi and I'm not really big on that. This is the expected assists list for this season. You'll see Jack Grealish is at the top, and Jack Grealish is the 4th most bought player this week. Again, makes complete sense. The fixture this week is really good with West Ham at home as well. Dewsbury Hall is also great. He's in 2nd here. The fixtures long term aren't the best, but I think we've seen now from Everton that they are going to be an okay team going forward now. So I don't mind that at all. And then Kudus is at the bottom of this list. He's got 3 assists from 1 expected assist. Those numbers obviously aren't the best. I mean, it's quite hard to generate expected assists though. He's 8th in the XA standings in the league. That's more what we should look at, the standing rather than the actual number, because he is creating a lot of chances. We saw in the game against Brighton, he created at least 3 very good chances. Got 2 assists, of course. So I just think he's a fantastic option. Transfers out for forwards. Ollie Watkins is at the top. That is no surprise. He was pretty bad against Sunderland. Not just him, the whole team were pretty bad, if I'm honest. He did miss quite a big chance at the end of the game. I think it was Sancho put a ball in and Watkins just missed the header, like as in didn't even head the ball. It was pretty bad. But besides that, he really didn't have anything in the game. A 10-men Sunderland looked better than an 11-men Villa, which is a bad place to be for Aston Villa. Completely agree with this sale. Chris Wood, I think I would have kept Chris Wood for 1 more week. It's a pretty good fixture this week with Sunderland. Now, Sunderland aren't aren't bad, don't get me wrong. They're not like a West Ham or a Wolves or a Brentford that are really bad defensively at the moment. But I think Chris Wood is going to be a bit of a minutes issue going forward as well. Igor Jesus is getting more and more minutes, so I'm not sure we see 90 minutes from Chris Wood that often. Gyökeres, this one doesn't make any sense to me now. These sales might have come from before the Man City game because there was 2 games in a row where he came off quite early. I think that was more just due to the congestion of the Champions League fixture and everything like that. I don't think that Gyökeres is a sell. I think he's someone you should be looking to buy this week, not sell. I mean, a lot of these players, I'm just not sure you need to sell them. Like João Pedro, he's blanked like 1 game now. I don't think that's cause to sell. I do get that a lot of these mid-priced forwards may be the situation where people are selling Salah to then move one of these forwards up to Haaland, which I do get. You need Haaland pretty much now. But in isolation, I don't think any of these forwards are particularly bad. I maybe wouldn't go for Isak just yet. I think I'd want to see a start first. But apart from that, I like all of these guys really. Transfers in for forwards. Of course, Haaland is the overwhelming top option here. All the other options are it's players that we saw in the transferred out list, like Richarlison, Ekitike, Gyökeres, João Pedro. It's probably not worth even talking about them. 2 players I do like down there though. Isidore and Foster. Isidore was absolutely brilliant the other day against Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa were bad, of course, but he's been really good this season. So if you're looking for a budget forward, I don't mind him at all. And similarly, Foster for Burnley. He's also been pretty good this season. If you're looking for a 5 million option, or rather than having Mark Gui, you want to pay a little bit more to have a playing option, then Foster's a pretty good option for that, to be honest. But if we talk about Haaland, if we go back to these stats that we had earlier, 6.3 XG from 5 games is outrageous behaviour. Now, we've seen in the last few seasons that Haaland starts pretty hot. I saw a post on X that said this is his worst start he's had to a Premier League season, which is stupid considering it was 5 goals in 4 games. But I think that with the fixtures coming up, it's Burnley at home this week. If you don't have Erling Haaland, then find a way to get him in your team this week. Whether you need to wild card, whether you need to free hit, I don't mind a free hit this week either. You just need to find a way to get Haaland in your team for this week because he just looks absolutely incredible right now. City in general going forward look pretty good, but Haaland just looks unstoppable. That is all for this one. If you did like the video, do hit like, do subscribe. If you've got any questions on your team specifically, let me know in the comments. But that is all. I will see you in the next one.